Hello students, today we'll be learning about IUPAC naming of hydrocarbons. First we'll be seeing aliphatic hydrocarbons, that is straight chain compounds. The first element is carbon. The first compound, the simplest hydrocarbon is methane with the formula CH4. So we have one carbon, around that we have 4 hydrogen atoms. That means each carbon atom is tetravalent in nature. Here, this carbon is said to be a primary carbon. So what do you understand by primary carbon? Primary carbon is a carbon atom which is not attached to any other carbon atoms, or it is attached to one carbon atom. Coming to ethane, C2H6. What will be the structural formula? We have the structural formula CH3 single bond CH3. Here, consider the carbons. The carbon is in turn attached to one carbon atom. So this is also considered as a primary carbon atom. Same is the case with the second carbon atom. So both of them are primary carbon atoms. Hope it is clear. Now coming to the next compound. So suppose we have a compound like CH3 single bond CH, single bond CH3, single bond CH2, single bond CH3. On analysis of these carbon atoms, you find that the rear carbon atoms are attached to only one more carbon atom. So such a carbon is said to be primary carbon atom. So this is primary. Coming to the next end, we have primary carbon atom. This carbon in turn is attached to only one more carbon. So that is also primary carbon atom. Coming to the next carbon atom, here this carbon, the second carbon atom is attached to 2 other carbon atoms, so this is a secondary carbon. Whereas the middle carbon atom here is attached to 3 different carbon atoms, so this becomes a tertiary carbon atom. So we have different types of carbon atoms depending upon whether it is attached to 1 carbon, 2 carbons, 3 carbons or 4 carbons. So if it is attached to one other carbon atom, it is primary. If it is attached to 2 other carbon atoms, it is called secondary. If it is attached to 3 other carbon atoms, it is called tertiary. And if it is attached to 4 other carbon atoms, it is called quaternary carbon atom. Consider this compound. We will analyze what all types of carbon atoms are present here. First carbon, the terminal one is attached to one more carbon. So this is primary carbon. What about this one? This is also primary. Here we have primary. This again is a primary carbon. And here the rear carbon is also primary. Now coming to the next one. This carbon, if you consider, you find that it is attached to 2 other carbon atoms, so it is a secondary carbon. Same is the case with this carbon. Here it is attached to 2 other carbon atoms, so it is secondary. Coming to the next one, here you find that this particular carbon is attached to 3 other carbon atoms, so it is tertiary carbon. And then we have finally this carbon atom which is attached to 4 different carbon atoms. So it is carbon is attached to 4 other carbon atoms. So it is called quaternary. Thus we have 4 different types of carbon atoms: primary carbons, secondary carbons, tertiary carbons and quaternary carbon atoms. Now that we have understood the different types of carbon atoms, we'll just learn how to give names for the different compounds. IUPAC has set a lot of rules for nomenclature. IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. A set of rules are given for explaining the naming of the compounds. First and the most important rule is the longest chain rule. Here, when a compound is given, we identify the longest carbon chain and number it in such a way that minimum numbers given for the substituent. Now, what do you understand by substituents? All the carbon atoms other than that is included in the main chain becomes the substituent. So, numbering of carbon chains are much important. We should number it in such a way that minimum numbers given for the substituent. So, if there are more than one substituent in the compound, we should number it in such a way that the lowest sum is got for the substituents. If we follow these together, we are able to explain or name the compounds. First thing you should understand about aliphatic hydrocarbons is that it is saturated, means it will follow the formula CnH2n plus 2. And the name should end with ANE. And if we have some groups attached to it as side chains, it will have the formula CnH2n plus 1. And this will be named as alkyl groups. For example, we'll take the first compound, CH3, CH2, single bond CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. How many chains are possible here? We have one straight chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon atoms. Another chain is 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, which is the longest chain? The longest chain is the one which is the straight chain here. It's not necessary that always the straight chain becomes the main chain. So, the longest chain is considered as the main chain. Now, we should number it in such a way that minimum numbers given for the substituent. You can number the carbon atoms starting from left to right or right to left. If I number it from left to right, I will get the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, the third position we have the side chain or the substituent. Now, if you number it from right to left, what will be the position occupied by CH3? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the one which is having the lowest number has to be considered. So, this is the right way of numbering it. Now, how to name the compound? So, in the main chain, we have 6 carbon atoms. So, the name of the parent alkane is hexane. But is it completely hexane? No. We have a substituent here at the third position. So, that we have to mention here. That is always prefixed here. So, we have 3 position and this is CH3. So, if it is CH4, the compound will be methane. So, this is 1 less than methane. So, the name is methyl hexane. Hope it is clear. So, the compound has the name 3-methyl hexane. Now take the example of the second compound. So we have many different chains present in this compound. First chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. Another chain can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next chain will be 1, 2, 3. or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So which is the longest chain? So this becomes the longest chain. So shall we number it? What will be the number here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you find that this is a derivative of octane. Why octane? Because 8 carbons are present in the main chain. So is it purely octane? No, we have certain substituents. Which are the substituents that are identified? Those carbon atoms which are not numbered. Now, which are the carbon atoms which are never numbered here? CH3, another CH3. Then we have one CH3 here and the next CH3 is here. How many CH groups are present here? We have 4 different CH3 groups. What is the name of CH3? CH3 means methyl. How many methyls are there? If it is one methyl, we just give methyl. The position has to be specified. Here you have 4 different methyl groups. So it should be given as a prefix tetra. So it is 2, 2. 5, 5 tetra methyl octane. Hope it is clear. Now we shall start naming the next compound. CH3, 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 CH2, single bond CH, CH3, single bond CH3. Here you find that there are different chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First chain. 1, 2, 3. Second chain. 1, 2, 3. Third chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fourth chain. So you have to find out which is the chain which has maximum number of substituents. The longest chain is considered. Now, shall we number it from left to right or right to left? So here we have maximum substituents on the second carbon atom. So if you start numbering from left to right, we have the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So which is the parent here? The parent is pentane. Is it completely pentane? No. Here we have the substituents. Which are the substituents? At the fourth group, fourth position we have CH3. Second position you have CH3 and CH3. So how many CH3 groups are there? 3 CH3 groups. So the prefix given should be tri. The compound will have the name 2, 2, 4. Trimethyl pentane. While giving the IUPAC name, the first letter should be a capital letter and it should be written as a single word. Each time specify the position of the substituent also. Name the following compounds. First one, which is the longest chain here? Evidently, it is from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a derivative of pentane. So the name should be ending with pentane. Now we have to decide upon which are the substituents. The substituents are methyl groups. At which all positions? Second position and third position. So the numbering should be 2, 2, 3. Trimethyl pentane. Next compound. We shall number it from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what will be the name of the compound? So the parent will be octane Now, is it completely octane? No, we have methyl groups here and there. So, position of methyl groups also has to be mentioned. So, it is a second position, fifth position, and sixth position. So, it will be 2, 5, 6. Trimethyl octane. If the numbering was